half a second, I thought he was whistling for the dog. Because if Jin Ling is in the area, then Fairy should be around here somewhere, right? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we're back with another episode of Dao Zu Shi. We come back, as we normally do, with notes and a board. I should say that I was a bit pressed for time last night. I did my normal searches for stuff, and I could not find one particularly online. I could maybe find one in my normal sources outside of stuff, but didn't go that far just yet. So, if you're watching this and you have a good source for the opening and ending credits of Season 3 of Dao Zu Shi, let me know. That way we can include it in an episode. But I don't have it this time. I think I said that I would, and I didn't. Or I don't, rather. Well, I didn't from the future tense of you watching this. I don't from the present tense of me saying this. Unfortunately, the board is still a work in progress, as there are many overlapping lines, and sometimes even lines that go through portraits, because this is actually like 17 boards ago. Unfortunately, I was working on some code right before we started this episode, and it screwed everything up, so I was hoping to come back with some real improvements. Did not have it. Either way, though, I still have a board changelog. I connected Zhan Yu to Guang Yao with a white line. I added Zhang Ping and Zhu Yang and connected them with a red line. I marked Cheng Ping as dead. I connected Zhu Yang and Zhao Xingchen with a red line. I connected Zhu Yang and Jin Guang Yao with a red line. I connected Guangshan to Yu Yang with a green line. And I added Song Lan and connected them to Zhao Xingchen with a green line. Oh, I also connected Mingzhu to Yangzhu with a red line. I should also note something else about the board is that, unfortunately, all the names are backwards. Because I feel like that was something that you would have to have jumped in with eventually. So I'm going to get in front of that one. Well, it's because
I noticed that.
It's because on other shows, this is like a general rule I have on the board that is now backfiring. As a general rule, I have it names that have commas and whatnot get corrected. And otherwise, other naming formats are being reversed. And this is the one show that doesn't work for. So instead of Chang Ping, we got Ping Chang. So
patronym last as opposed to patronym first, as it should be.
Again, this works on every other board. This is the one board where it's backfired on me. And as I said, I already just fucked up all the code just before recording, so I didn't have time to fix that. That would have been lower on the list. Again, a line going through multiple portraits kind of makes those portraits look like they're related to one another in a way that they're not, which is a more important fix to me than fixing the names.
And also, I don't know, is Fairy?
Yeah, they have their Chinese name.
Xiangxi. Oh, cute. She's a cutie. She's a lovable ball of fluff.
A horrible monster.
Anyway, we go then.
No idea how to handle that one, huh?
Yeah.
It was like almost a reaction, and then it was like, yeah, it's too early for this.
Yeah, no, she's not. She's a cutie.
Well, I got drawn as a character who thinks that they're a horrible monster.
Well,
you get drawn as a character who doesn't give a shit about them. So,
we go to the final episode of Season 2, Episode 8, The Truth. And the first note is about Fairy. When Fairy went off chasing something off screen, he was going after Nie Huasang. Yeah.
God damn it, memory. Oh, yeah, sorry. Name Huang Song. Sorry, we've got so many Huangs, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
That my brain getting messed up for similar names.
That's why I included the Nie.
Oh, that's what got me there. Yeah, because he's the only... Because his dad, Ming Zhu, also is a Nie, and there's not that many.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's also, Zhan Yu's cousin, I don't know what his relationship is at this point. I guess he would be a cousin. Has the same name as somebody else who has the last name Yu. And it just goes into the cauldron of Z-Swans that there are. Actually, it might be a Z-Swan. Yeah, because his name is close to Z-Swan. So it's Z-Swan Mo, and then there's Z-Swan Yu, and then that goes towards the Z-Swan Jin, and the two of them. Very confusing, especially when you're doing the board shit. You know, it only just occurred to me that Jin Guang Yao's name used to be Meng Yao, inasmuch as I mean that we have clan leader Yao showing up every so often. Never really connected the two of them together since this guy just showed up near the end of the fighting, by which I mean the end of Nevernight. You know, he's the one that killed when Roshan and became important in the present, whereas clan leader Yao has been intermittently placed throughout the planning of the Sunshine campaign to the present. And the addendum that I threw out there was that Meng Yao, being his former name, means he used to be part of the Yao clan, which means that clan leader Yao used to be in charge of him, which is a connection that doesn't really ever come up in the animation so far. That these two characters are very close together, despite being very far apart right now.
Yeah.
Which is why if you look at the board, Guang Yao is partly in the Yao clan. I put him there because he used to be part of the Yao clan.
Jin Guan Yao, yeah. Guan Yao.
Well, he's the only Guang Yao, so I don't think I had to use the Jin part. Now that we have people who have the same fucking name in different clans, I have to use those names when they become appropriate.
Well, not much I can add to that, basically. So I'll go to my next note. Not only does Ni Huasang avoid using a blade in the present, he refused to use a blade when he was training in Gosu, using the excuse that he wasn't very good at it. Obviously, he didn't want to fall to the same curse that afflicted leaders of his clan, including his elder brother.
I have a note about that from the differences in the anime section, so apparently this is an anime-only thing. I mean, there was a trap set at Nevernight, so that's undeniable. But I'm not exactly sure what happened on the road and how we try and excuse that. People came for Wei Ying, and he took them on. That happened for sure. So we won't be apologizing for anyone dying there, except for Jinjik Swan. And again, the problem here is that we have two Jinjik Swans, one with an A, one without an A. You know, we all know which one I mean. You could add that he seemed to be getting filled with added resentment, but that's still on him for losing it. If Bruce Banner gets too angry and kills a bunch of people as the Hulk, that's on him for not controlling his anger. Wei Ying took in too much resentment and lost control. That's on him. There wasn't a seal formed from the landscape like Nevernight. That was just him, uncontrolled.
And he admits as much multiple times. That the stinging amulet was too much, that he should have gotten rid of it earlier, that he was responsible for the people.
The start of the episode, though, is excusing him for it, and I'm saying that's not. Yeah. Nevernight, he was being manipulated by a literal magical circle versus the road. Again, I'm giving him slight excuse for it because he was attacked. I would think that you expect a response, except the Jin Swan part, again, the one that we know what I'm talking about, is the guy was trying to, like, let's back down. He wasn't attacking. So it was the part of his resentment overwhelming, causing then Wen Ning to through the back, as you do. So I'm saying that his overflowing resentment was at fault there. He lacked control. Again, the difference between a pre-plotted, I don't know what you call it, cultivation circle thing versus he had just got a little bit more resentful than you usually are.
Well, the resentment actually comes from the bottom of the ridge, of the crevice.
I'm not saying that wasn't a thing. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, that's just more resentment. It's just a little bit angry. Again, my parallel with the Hulk. He was just a little bit more angry than he normally would have been. If he can't control anger as a normal thing, you shouldn't be wandering around civilization, Bruce Banner. It's on you.
I mean, he certainly isolated himself often, so...
Yeah, but I'm still saying it's on him for not being able to control it. It's, again, it's not like the magical circle thing we get at Nevernight, which all this other stuff is also happening.
Yeah. I guess it's Lansan's trying to sway him. It's like, no, it's your fault, this and that. But wuxian is like, nope, I was arrogant. I thought I could control it. Ultimately,
that's what he's like before. He doesn't say all that shit after he gets excused. They're saying what you're talking about is from episodes previous to the ones that we're referring to.
No, he said it in the when they're sitting together in front of the rock, and he's like, Lance End goes and like, no, it's not your fault. Like, no, it was.
Yeah,
I
again,
was
that's what I
arrogant.
just
He's
said,
like,
Lessons. He says that in
yeah,
episodes previous to the ones that we're referring to.
oh, actually,
The
this
episode we're
episode.
on right now, because you put these in episodic order, starts with him getting excused, and he doesn't mention it again. So his "I'm taking the blame for it" comes from previous episodes, and this is Lan Zan excusing him for being manipulated, and he's never like, "Yeah, I wasn't really that manipulated back to the road." He never brings it back up again. Because right after that, we get Hong Song through the window, so it's a whole other thing after that.
Yeah. My next point, talk about Wan San again. It also explains his lack of participation in the interclan affairs in the intervening years. He was too focused on maintaining the Tomb of Blaze to worry about anything else.
I don't feel like that's the implication. I feel like we got like, this lore dump on the Ni clan. I mean, the second time, because we heard in episode 3 of the entire fucking series that their clan were from butchers. We heard that way back when, and this is like the payoff to that, if there was any payoff to that. I think the thing is that he is the what they call it? What's his nickname? The head shaking clan master.
The head shaker.
Yeah, which seems to me to read as his whole non-participation thing. It doesn't exactly come from maintaining that shit, considering that he doesn't do much about it over the course of 9 to 11 years. So it seems to be more, though, that's why the bird can recite his weird, his non-committal responses, because that's all he is. If all the clans use soul-infused weapons, then what makes the Ni clan's blades the only ones to go this route? I mean, they say that their ancestors were butchers, but wouldn't that mean that the Wen clan's blades would also turn into this? It just seems odd to have to gone through this elaborate 1,000-year setup to keep the blades subdued, and also have everyone else basically still using the same devices. Still not sure what possessed blades needing a resentment pool to keep placid has to do with the arm, though.
Yeah, that is interesting connection that I don't know.
Yeah, the arm came here. Why? Yeah. Or the arm pointed here. In fact, the arm. I don't know. The arm didn't actually come here. The arm just pointed in this direction. So maybe the arm has something to do with this place. Well, no, they go this way because the arm tells them to go this way. Remember when they have it locked down
originally?
Back in
but
whatever place, it points in this direction. Does that thing that it always does.
And then escapes, and then we see it kind of like climbing itself from the hole that they blasted into the castle. It's like so actually did go to this place. I don't know why, but it did. Maybe that's where the different parts were. So one part was taken from here, another part was taken from other places. So it's looking to reunite it, sort of following the one part of it, of former body, was taken from here, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's the shot that you were like, what the hell are they doing, when it's showing the stitching on the bodies.
Yeah. Talking about that, the arm, the assassins, the clan leaders, it's a big old pile up at the Tomb of Swords. By the way, that would be a cool name for a D&D adventure, dungeon delve.
Pile up at the Tomb of Swords?
No, just Tomb of Swords.
I don't know. If this was an old school D&D adventure, it would be pile up at the Tomb of Swords, because you would have
swords,
you would have your inciting. Well, because people would be like, Tomb of Swords, that sounds pretty cool. But then you have your inciting, well, what the fuck is going on? Pile up at the Tomb of Swords. Your hook on the cool title. I think this is our second time hearing about Huang Song's brother. I believe the first was all the way back in episode 3. Not much that I can remember, though. Just that he'd break Hong Song's legs for failing or something like that.
Yeah. I guess the rage continued.
Well, no, I mean, the read back then was more that this was a mafia-style family or something like that, Yeah, sure, you can do whatever you want. They'll break your legs first, but, to trade off.
Sure.
Because the idea was that he was talking about, like, leaving and doing his own thing. So, oh, yeah, you have to free him to do whatever you want. Your brother will break your fucking legs, but yeah, go ahead.
Then speculation time. Is the spy master using the Kiss of Decay to infect and control members of the other clans? Infect them with the curse, promise them a way to survive it, and teach them a way to kill themselves if they fail their mission. And they're willing to do it, kill themselves, less out of loyalty to the spy master and more because they really have nothing to live for except for a long and painful death.
Actually, wasn't it supposed to be like not that painful? That
In
was
the
the
beginning,
thing.
but
It's
then
like
eventually,
it doesn't even feel like they described it doesn't even feel like anything right up until you die. But also, I think the hole in your thing there is that not one of them blabbed. Not one of them was like, these are the people that are so fucking loyal to their whole clan shtick that not one of them got like kiss of death or whatever and were like, hey, I guys got kissed to death. That guy fucking kissed to death me. You know?
I mean, he might be searching people who already were, the centers or people who didn't, wouldn't just
Untrustworthy
do
people.
any
You're
good.
saying so he looked for untrustworthy people, and these untrustworthy people turned out to be the most trustworthy people. Again,
I
the
mean,
problem
it's a
is that
theory.
if you look for someone who's willing to cheat on their wife, the problem is they're probably going to cheat on you too.
Yeah, never marry a cheater.
That's what I'm saying is that the flaw I find here, which I mean, I see what you're going for, the element of I'm going to get all these people to do my thing because I'm going to have this thing I'm going to hold over them. No one wants to die a horrible death. But the thing is, these people are so fucking loyal all the time that they would put their own lives above everything else. I mean, not above. They would put their own lives subservient to their clan. Can you imagine season 1, Lan Zhan getting kissed to death
Yeah.
and not going to Kuren? Hey, I just got kissed to death.
Yeah.
So something else about Zhan Yu's past before summoning Wei Ying. He evidently knew Guan Yao. No clue if that means anything to us, but it's more information about the missing years between Wei Ying's death and Zhan Yu's ritual. I think we compared this to Memento before, and that's not quite accurate, but I know I've read stories like this before. Sorry, I don't know, I just said you, that's not even my notes. Just can't remember what I'm thinking of. Maybe Servant of the Bones? The idea of coming back to life in a body that knew something about you, but having to piece the mystery back together from clues around them, as they left nothing behind for you to know directly. I mean, this seems to be the case anyways. Gonna suck if it was something as simple as Mosey Gon's kleptomania in episode 1 being the hint that what clues Zhan Yu had are actually in the dead guy's bedroom because he stole them.
I mean,
You remember he said
that
he
could have
stole
happened.
all my magic shit? Zhan Yu, I mean, well, it was Wei Ying at the time in Zhan Yu's body, but the implication is still there that the big guy, the cousin, stole all his shit. So, all of Zhan Yu's knowledge might be in that guy's bedroom. And we just never went back to Mo Village. All the clues are in Mo Village. No, Yi City's not Mo Village. Well, we covered that in the episode.
That's a mistake I made. I thought that they were that Guan Yu was in Yi City. He isn't. He is actually back in Mo Village. They're not. There's a quick transition, but clearly,
well, we're talking about two different
things.
Lessons. I'm talking about you referencing Yi City because you said that, and I was like, and I'm rewatching. I was like, wait a second, he definitely referenced Mo Village while they were in Yi City. So it's like these are not the same place.
Yeah, I made that mistake. In fact,
I also don't think, or I don't know that I don't think. Sorry, it's the antagonistic nature that we have during these conversations coming out. I don't know that he is in Mo Village. I think I have a future note about where he could be or what that might mean. So I'm not going to enter into a debate about it right now. But I'm saying I don't know where he is.
He clearly is not in Yi City. That's for sure. He's somewhere else.
Yeah, no. My comment wasn't about where Guan Yu is. You're the only one that brought Guan Yu up. I was referring to the knowledge of Zhan Yu knowing Guan Yu. That was it. I was not referring to where Guan Yu is. This has nothing to do with the scene we see of Guan Yao later. I don't actually know what this is referring to specifically, other than the fact that they say that Zhan Yu knew Guan Yao. Yeah, I'm not even.
Yeah, wuxian actually says I better keep my mouth shut, essentially, because if I say something, I might tip him off. So he's the one who realizes.
No. Sorry, my staring off into the middle distance had nothing to do with your note. I was just looking at one of my own comments, and I was thinking, where the hell does this go? Sorry. I understood what you meant. I understood what you meant when you said it. Me staring off in the middle distance had nothing to do with not knowing what you said.
Anyway, my next note then. Lan Zhan and wuxian met as children, apparently.
Don't like it. As I said back in the episode, I didn't like it. I described it as Smallville,
Yeah.
That the idea is that Clark Kent moves to Metropolis, and that's where he meets all these people that expand his life and everything like that. Whereas then you go back to Smallville, the show, and he just fucking knew everybody, as a kid, as a
Everybody came to
teenager.
him. Everybody came to him, basically.
Well, it's not that they can't. No, because you have to recontextualize everything from the past. It's not that everyone came to him. It's that he moved with everyone else. That they were always with him, and they continue to be with him. Conceivably, thus, the move to Metropolis isn't the small town kid to big city. It's everyone from the small town fucking moved to the big city all at the same time. It's like, that's not interesting. Lex Luthor is this new guy that Clark Kent / Superman has to learn to deal with. No, it's just a guy who went to school with that he just has to keep doing with the same way. I don't like it. It also recontextualizes Lanzan. I'm getting to a whole thing here. You know what? Actually, I know I have a note about it. Where the fuck do I have a note about it? Okay. I wonder if, watching this in chronological order, we would go from Wei Wuxian and Lanzan meeting as kids to Wei Wuxian meeting Lanzan at Guso, where we're meant to think that this wasn't Wei Wuxian disbelieving someone could be so serious all the time, but all the prodding and such was actually him messing with an old friend, that we would naturally take as a first meeting had a completely different context due to Lanzan's stoic nature through the early episodes. The idea that if you watch this in the order that it actually happened in reality, that this is Wei Wuxian meeting an old friend and being like, why are we acting so weird, Lanzan? This isn't the way you've been acting since I've known you as a kid, versus what seems to be our approach of Wei Wuxian meeting someone brand new and being way too friendly with a person who's not that way. Like, if you just watch this scene and then that first meeting again, would it play differently? Like, again,
Probably.
It's the weird chronological order of things that are happening.
Well, you answered my note with my note. With your
Yep,
note,
that's right. I read one of your notes. I'm actually right behind you in the darkness. If I lean too far forwards, I'm going to appear on your screen.
Yeah. Now it is Wang Yao who saw right through Wuxian's thinly veiled disguise, which is a reference to him visiting his Mo's village and seeing all the paraphernalia that was. It was like, oh.
Again, I think I only disagree from the perspective that what I threw out during the reaction, I believe, was that looks more like the study rooms of Guso. There was never a place in Mo Village that we saw that looked like I know this is going to be very tangential, but when we were in Guso in the study hall where we had to spend months copying books, right, as punishment, very specifically the shelving in those places looked all the same. No place in Mo Village had shelving that looked the same way as that. So that's my only guess, is that we've, the architecture of the room looked more like Guso. And not for nothing, it leans into my Lanzan guesses that Lanzan may have just been keeping a bunch of shit of Wei Ying's over all the years. So that maybe that is that study room, and he put all of Wei Ying's shit there. Because that's what Guan Yao was looking at. He's looking at the soul, was it the soul attraction thing?
Yeah.
He's looking at the outline of that, and he's comparing it against Zhan Yu's self-sacrificing thing. And it's like, these things have very similarities. And then it's like, oh, Wei Ying is back, is he? Whatever he says. We're reaching the same point here. That's my guess, though. I'm guessing that's in Guso. You're guessing Mo Village. Well, it's odd that there is confusion about how Wei Wuxian died, since we're told in episode 1 that Jian Sheng killed him, but now we're being presented with information that the Ghost Army killed him, which seems to be untrue anyways.
I mean, it could be rumors and the different stories about how he died. So, I mean, this is more like what people talk about rather than one of the established characters. Or like, yeah, I know exactly what happened. I was there. I saw it.
I guess I'm going to throw this out there, because it's an unfortunate thing that happened, but it is something that happened. I have been spoiled to how he dies. The differences in the novel section is not very spoiler-free. I guess because it assumes you've read the fucking novel, so...
Yeah.
So I'm not going to read that part out loud, as to not spoil you, but I have been spoiled, so I know how he dies, but I'm not including it in my own self-reflective notes either, so... As I said, I just had this whole thing about it's confusing, but from the perspective of knowledge that we've been given, the narrator in episode 1 who says Yansheng kills him. Why did the narrator lie to us if that's not what happened?
I'll go narrator. And my last note for this episode: blind swordsman entered the chat.
Well, sympathetic blind swordsman. His friend got poisoned, which made him blind, so he blinded himself.
I mean, yes, but this is just the final scene where he comes in. That's all I'm saying. All that is for the next episode.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Remember, he appears at the
I
final,
remember the blind swordsman showing up at the end of the last episode we watched.
Yeah, this is episode. He appears in both episodes. He literally appears in the last scene of the season. He shows up and smirks, and cut to black.
No, that
and then we were
that episode. Wait,
like,
which episodes did you take notes on? Just to double check this real quick.
Episode 8 of season 2, and episode 3 of episode 1 of season 3.
Yeah, because he shows up and smirks at the end of. Unless I'm really wildly misremembering.
Yes.
No. Lessons.
Hold on
a sec. Just a meta note here, Lessons. Instantly, if I start suspecting I might be wrong, the surest way that you're going to make me not think I'm wrong is instantly lean in with your what was the anger management? Your that shit is going to instantly make me like double back on. No, I must be right because I'm not going to fucking agree with that face.
Okay.
I'm just saying, Lessons. You gotta learn me a little bit over the years that we're together. The element that if you want this argument to go your way, let me at least figure out myself if I'm right or wrong, because this is not. Although I will say, I'm pretty sure that the last episode that we watched, it was literally the blind swordsman showing up through the miasma, and he has that snaggletooth grin, and he doesn't show up at the end of episode 8 because they're not in. They don't go to Yi City until the first episode of the 3rd season.
No, they actually do go to G City. In fact, they end up in G City, and then we kind of go back again to when they get to G City in the first season.
I guess at the end of the road, does this matter? No.
Just a note that I put in.
I just don't remember it. I guess more specifically because we see him at the end of the last episode, and it matters. Versus if he did show up, even if he did show up at the end of last season, it didn't matter then. It was like, it would have been what is going on here. But thankfully, we watched 2 episodes back to back, the only way that would this be confusing. That common folk really has no survival instinct. A dismembered arm and 2 guys messing with it on the street, but it's okay, because they're good-looking guys, so that must mean they're cultivators. Dude's gonna end up in a valley of corpses if he's not careful.
Well, I'll jump to my second note of this episode. Wuxian, has anything weird happened lately? Man on the street. You mean besides the zombie arm right there? That thing?
I mean, I think I was commenting on it during the reaction where Lanzan just starts walking away. And, Wavesman catches up to him, but the arm is still back there. As far as I know, it's Lanzan's thing that keeps it in the gold thing. So he was just going to leave the fucking arm behind.
Yeah. Well, I said my note with your note, so it's your turn. Your turn.
I guess it hasn't rained in a decade in Yi City, considering that all the paper product is just fine and blowing around.
Yeah, I have a note about that.
I mean, conceivably, I guess it's not that humid either, because otherwise that should be covered in mold. The entire place should be mold city.
Yeah. I have a note about what those papers are exactly, but we'll get to it in a moment. First note, season 3, episode 1, Yi City. There was a train of blood that led to the mile marker, and then we don't see a body or anything. We just see the trail, and the mile marker is covered in blood, and I'm like, where's the body? Where all this blood came from? What's going on here?
I mean, I commented on that during the reaction. The element that where's the blood coming from? It must have been a zombie.
Maybe.
Well, one, why does the blood just end? Where's to go? Also, you don't lose that much blood and still be alive and moving.
Nope.
So the execution was done by the Frost Sword. Corpses in the area have the Frost Sword? But the guy we see doesn't seem like Zhao Xingchen. I don't know, the middle part lost me, but I'm back again with the end. the guy we see doesn't seem like Zhao Xingchen.
I have a very big note about all that, so I will hold off answering your note with my note because it's going to be even
I've
more
only got
confusing if I try to
2
do that.
very short notes left.
Yeah. I have a few more. I knew that Fairy and Apple would meet. Also, is that one of the Spy Master's men listening on their conversation?
Seems like
There's
a
a guy
Jin
from
Clan
like,
guy.
man,
I have
could be.
suspicions about Guan Yao, so I think that's just a Guan Yao thing. Especially since we see that after Guan Yao is like, oh, Wei Wuxian's back. So that's probably just, follow Zhan Yu. He's clearly Wei Wuxian. And it's might be getting a Jian Cheng, Guan Yao team up later. Yang Zhu might be capable of restoring the Stygian Tiger amulet, but it's evident that it has been restored at some point in the last 9 years.
Yeah. Again, I have a note that packs a lot of that stuff in. So
I think I put a lot of my notes about what you're probably going to get into in the concept board link up. So that's all of my notes about it were handled with character relationship ties.
everything seems to fit the 10-year window or 11-year window, including the death of an entire city. Or small town, really, but walled small town. Medium-sized town.
Well, that's the difference between the one village that was just outside of the valley, all those people going missing, despite how many people still seem to be in the town or village, versus this place, which is a city, as they say, which, cemetery city, as it turns out, funeral city.
Yep. More ways than one.
Well, yeah, I mean, after the fact, but they were also a city dedicated towards the manufacture of product, towards funerals and cemeteries. Now, my final note here. Funny that the cat corpse thing is similar to something that happened in Mo Village 23 episodes ago, but this is the first time that we're hearing about it. Pretty massive clue omission.
And why specifically cats? Which we haven't never seen a cat on screen, have we? No, we haven't. We've seen dogs. We've seen donkeys. We've seen demons.
Yeah, but you also
No
remember
cats.
my whole comment about the fact that he's afraid of dogs, and we never saw a dog until Fairy shows up, implying that, my whole thing about there's no dogs on the mountain, there's no dogs in the wilderness, there's no dogs in every village we've ever been to.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the chunker right here. Big note, big paragraph, all in one. Hope you can keep up because I can barely keep up with it, but I tried. So, a demonic cultivator by the name of Zuen Yang destroyed the city to take revenge on the Chan clan. He then gets captured by Xiao Xingzhen, but the head of the Chan clan, Shang Ping, recants his testimony and Zuen Yang goes free. He then takes his revenge on Xiao Xingzhen by poisoning Xingzhen's friend and blinding Xingzhen, or Xingzhen blinds himself afterward. We don't. It's not very clear. Which explains why he shows up at the end of the last episode with his eyes covered. And somebody kills Chang Ping and carves his house out. But the primary suspect, Xing Shen, had already been executed by Order Guang Yao using Frost, Thin Shen's sword. Yeah, I know there's more to it, but I was trying to get all that explanation that Lanstan was giving us in one note. So,
Well, I think you got the order of operations wrong. Granted, I didn't write this down, so I don't have anything to go off of other than having just rewatched the episode half an hour ago. Shit, now I can't remember the order of events that you just mentioned. The problem here is like we're at the end of the game show, and you've heard the story throughout the whole game show, and the last act is putting the order of events right, like where in time is Carmen Sandiego sort of situation. Shit, he attacks the Changs. He doesn't destroy the village. He gets accused of the crime. Chang does not pursue it. He lets him go or whatever. Then he goes and destroys the village and kills Chang Ping. That's when he gets brought before the tribunal, where Gao Shan, the former leader of the Jin Clan, is trying to not have him killed because obviously he wants the Stygian Tiger amulet. And him not being killed is what allows him to then poison the other guy, which then causes him to be blind. And we never see that he's executed, unless I'm just forgetting that part. So
last time say he gets executed with the sword, but
I mean, it's not part of the scenes that we see, though. We see the blinding. We see the other guy blinds himself out of sympathy. Remember I said sympathetic blind guy? That's what I was referring to then. The element in my head is that this guy is still alive, because what's his name wanted him to be alive to put the amulet back together, and as per, it seems like the amulet's back together, which would imply that this guy's still alive. You know, unless we Wen Ninged him, which is to say, killed him, had somebody who was good enough with demonic possession to bring him back 100%. In which case, we have an undead guy with a stinking tire amulet.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot to unpack. A lot of names, a lot of.
Yeah, my problem would be
stuff
with the
to unpack.
names, but I think I have the sequence of events in my head only because, well, I don't even know why. It's not important. You know, it's stuff that happened 10-ish years ago. What's important is who's alive right now and doing what right now. This is a situation where the background is complex enough that I'm really like,
Yeah.
fuck it. I don't know anyone's motivations. I just need to know what's happening right now. I don't care why you, blind guy, are blind right now. Your backstory's too fucking complicated. I just need to know what's happening right now. Are you my enemy? Are you attacking me? Are you attacking those guys? Do you think I'm one of those guys because you can't see? What's going on?
You're done with the notes, so I have more.
The only notes I have left are diversions from the novel thing, which we handle after your notes.
Okay, so I got a couple of notes more than a couple. Jinling always gets knocked out. It's kind of funny.
I mean, unless he's a fake out. Unless he's not actually ever unconscious, in which case he's like, let me show you where you need to go, or I need to observe you while you're doing a thing, and is just pretending to be unconscious. That would be a real
It's so
bitch if he
convenient.
wasn't even Jinling, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If it was Jinling died a long time ago, and this is just the guy. You know, the whole chronological thing, that they can throw anything out there chronologically if we don't see it happen beforehand. That there's a scene where Jinling gets killed by Yu Chang, or whatever the fuck's name was, Yu something. And that he's just pretending to be Jinling this whole time. And that's his way of being close to Wei Ying the entire time and observing what Wei Ying does, just by pretending to be an unconscious Lin Jing. Look, man, I'm not putting anything past this fucking show. Yeah. I mean, it feels like a real get smart move, right? Would you believe? It's like, at this point, I believe anything, given the fact that anything could have happened within the last 10 years, and they just don't show it to us.
Talk about the thing you're talking about, the order of operations. Jin Guangshan protected Swen Yang because he knew the secret of remaking the Stygian Tiger amulet. At least that's the accusation that gets hurled at him during the tribunal.
As I brought up multiple times now.
Yeah. Xiao Xingchen is a Taoist, according to the vision. And I think that's important because the way he does he may not be practicing cultivation per se. He might be practicing another style of a philosophical, magical style in the Taoist sense. So that's why he's not part of a clan or anything like that. He has robes, so he must have been part of a clan at some point. But because I believe the cultivation it's mostly a Confucianism style belief system as opposed to a Taoist one. Again, I'm very fussy on the details. Apologies for people who actually know this stuff. If you do, please leave it in the comment. I always willing to learn. But I think that's an important distinction, right? Or maybe a distinction between a Diabolist and a Taoist, right? Just saying.
I mean, I would think that there's a distinction between a Diabolist and everybody.
But why mention it specifically? I think that's might be a clue to where he comes from.
I don't know. We're in a confusing territory of the show doesn't really want to explain much to us because it's assumed that you're in Chinese culture, so you don't need the stuff to explain it to you. So probably I would imagine that there's enough on the guy that somebody who's familiar with Taoism that would just like look at him and would know. So I don't know why he would say it at all.
Xiao Xingchen also looked like he was attacking wuxian, but in fact he was going after the zombies. A bit of a fake out when the sword comes in. He kind of
again, as for my thing, was he though? He stabs it to Zhan Yu. There's not a zombie next to him. It wasn't like, oh no, there's a zombie over your shoulder. Pah, got it. He stabs at him. Zhan Yu dodges, and then he stabs at the next zombie in line. Zhan Yu and the zombies got to be filled with demonic energy. He's blind. Maybe he's attacking demonic energy. Like I said, are you attacking me? Are you attacking them? Are you confused because you're blind?
Yeah. And that was my final note.
All right, as I said, got divergence from the novel stuff. I've already edited out the one spoiler. Episode 23 diverges significantly from the novel in ways both large and small. Ni Hanswang was questioned by Li Wangji and Wei Wuxian after a scrap of his clothing was caught, not his fan. Moreover, there is no inclination in the novel that he uses his fan for cultivation. The stone castles were broken into about 50 years prior in the novel. In the animation, it is only 10 years prior. So that's what I was talking about with the fan thing. There was no attack at the stone castles. Rather, Wei Wuxian and Lan Wangji returned the day after their discussion with Ni Hansong after realizing that the demonic left arm responded to Wei Wuxian's curse mark. Deducing that they were looking for legs, they searched the corpses until they discovered them sewn into a body. They met the masked cultivator in Yongyang, attempting to dig up the grave containing the demonic left arm's torso, leading to his nickname as the Grave Digger. While they did notice his familiarity with the techniques of the Guso Lan clan, no one noticed his scars from casting the 1,000 Swords and 100 Holes curse until the incident at the Guanyin Temple. Jin Guangyao did not meet Wei Wuxian nor discern his true identity until the discussion conference at the Golden Carp Tower.
Which hasn't happened yet.
No, it has. Golden Carp Tower. That was the name of the place I think that Yan Li was at last before Nevernight.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a place we've been to before.
But not this particular discussion.
Pretty sure it is. I mean, the problem is that we don't name things from the book. So we've been to Golden Carp Tower. I'm assuming it was whatever happened there.
Oh, yeah, they had a discussion, but they don't mention wuxian there, so, yeah.
Right, well, this is the differences from the novel section, so.
Yeah, makes sense, yeah.
And then on to episode 24. In the novel, Jin Ling was one of the juniors spared from corpse poisoning. Lan Jingyi is the only named junior to contract it. A Qing approaches Wei Wuxian and the juniors rather than lead Lan Wingji to the captive juniors. Lan Shizu's use of inquiry to find Sun Long's identity is cut, as Wei Wuxian had never seen Song Lan nor Zhao Zingshen before in the novel. Moreover, Zhu Yang did not capture any of the juniors, and rather than knock Jin Ling unconscious, he merely sent him outside with the others. Moreover, the novel has 7 to 8 juniors in addition to the Lan juniors and Jin Ling present in Yi City. In the animation, it is merely the 4 named juniors.
Wuxian asks, "Oh, you guys are getting along so well?" And he's like, "No, we're not. We're just dealing with this situation."
The Frostfall technique and the Ash summoning spell are unique to the animation. In the novel, Zhu Yang recognized Wei Wuxian through Final Eyes summoning. Really feels like we're getting a Naruto territory with these descriptions. In the novel, rather than incapacitate Zhu Yang to prompt a feigned retreat, Lan Wingji engaged in a lengthy battle with the delinquent upon his arrival at the scene. Delinquent. The coffin house is different from the house with the rice Kongyi in the novel, and Lan Wingji is not present at either. Rather, Ling Jing and Lan Zihui help Wei Wuxian cook the Kongyi. And lastly, the novel does not mention how many years ago the events in Yi City occurred. The animation specifies 11 years. The animation also cuts A Qing's theft of another man's wallet and Zhao Zingshen's protection of her, and shortens the timeline to A Qing meeting Zhao Xingchen nearly simultaneously with their meeting of Zhu Yang.
I think you're covering things we haven't seen before.
Episode 24.
Well, this is episode
25 we're about to watch today.
Yeah, but we didn't see any of that in episode 24.
Lessons. This is the differences from the novel.
Yeah. By the way, I skipped a note that I said I was going to read, but I didn't, so I'm going to go back and read it before we continue. And we were discussing what the heck these things were during the episode. The flying bits of paper we see all around Yi City are known as Joss paper, or paper money, designed to be burned in rituals venerating family ancestors. in this era, they would look like round bronze coins. That's why they were all over the place. So in China, they do that in China. I think in Okinawa, they do something similar. I don't know if they burn. Yeah, the Okinawa do too. Eventually, it's like fake money that you burn to give it to your ancestors, who have died, so they can use it in the afterlife. I know they do it in Okinawa. I know they do it in China and East Asia. In Japan, they don't, as far as I know, understand, they don't do that. But yeah, most East and Southeast Asia, Vietnam, and very profitable too, to make fake money to sell for real money. So people can burn the fake money to give to their ancestors.
I mean, it wasn't a question in my mind what these things were. I'm
Well,
sure
you brought it
someone
up.
out
You're
there
like,
is
"Oh."
happy that you went over it, though, because I'm sure someone's like,
You
what the
brought
fuck
it
is all
up.
this paper shit?
Yeah, you brought it up. I was like, oh, yeah, that's an interesting.
I didn't bring it
reason.
up. I mean, you're referring to my note where I said, hey, I guess it doesn't rain very often here. That's not me saying, what the fuck are these things? I was just saying, hey, there's a lot of paper around here that's not getting
during
wet.
your reaction.
No, during the
You brought it
reaction,
up
I don't
to-
think I said, what the fuck are these? Well, maybe I did. Who the fuck knows? I know it's not a concern in my head when I rewatched it. It's just, my concern was, again, it doesn't rain around here. The implication there being is if a fire ever caught, this whole place would have gone up and never gone out. Well, I mean, it would have gone out when all the burned material was gone. But I guess also the fact that the wind is blowing around here, putting all this shit into the air, would have caught everything in the area on fire. So I guess, good thing it doesn't rain because it also doesn't lightning.
Those were my notes. Those were your notes. Do we have any comments?
No.
I guess there's nothing to get to it, but to get into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Then I already put out there that anybody
Yeah.
who has information or a link to, I guess, the opening and ending of season 3, toss it my way. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to, I don't know, figure out a way to get it, because
Yeah.
all I can find are like AMVs of the song or the complete song.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the song was great and everything, but I'm not here to sit for a 4-minute video of just listening to the song with you.
This intro certainly emphasizes more their relationship than anything else.
Well, it's
We
the
see
whole
other
fucking
things,
show.
But yeah, I know, but a lot of the show has been, because of the nature of how they have to limit their, the perception of their relationship. A lot of these intros are being like the battles and stuff like that.
I don't even
but
feel
here
like they've
it's,
really limited it that much. They just haven't done that much.
Yeah.
There's been like, 2 scenes where I could conceivably see. Sorry, I got thrown by a visual there. Very much anyone
Yeah.
who's seen the Alicization arc of Sword Art Online can very much see the parallels in that specific animation scene that was happening. Yeah, like there's only like 2 scenes I could see where they may have omitted relationship stuff, but otherwise everything else, they've been dealing with other shit, which would,
Yeah.
needfully prevent them from getting into the depths of any real relationship. It's only this season, where Lansan's finally opened up. I know who you are.
Plus work.
Meanwhile, 5 minutes ago, you think that's the other guy?
Which other guy?
The guy who was poisoned and went blind. That's why he's coughing? I gotta think he's got a cough for a reason, and maybe that's to
Oh, he
indicate
got
to us.
poisoned. He got poisoned by the zombies when he cut them. He had this sort of green.
I don't think that was it though. I think maybe the show is trying to tell us he's not who we think he is. Just because he's got the frost sword doesn't mean that he's the frost guy. Also, there was no real threat of him losing the sword to the ground because he could always Thor's hammer it back to him.
你中湿毒太深了，先运气护住心脉吧。
没时间了，这城中尸罪本圣人气息而居，杀之不尽，极难对付。
哦，
Well, it shouldn't be
似
endless.
乎对义城之事颇有了解。
我也只是云游到此，前来夜猎。听我一劝，快走吧。阁下修为虽高，但毕竟还有位小公子。
那你呢？
我想趁还没有石化，再多杀几只走尸。
哼，管他多少走势，杀便完事了。
He also doesn't have his sheath. Oh, that's right. We left Lanzan out there somewhere.
Yeah. There he is.
Oh no, I mean we just heard the music, so I was like, oh, that's right. We left him out there somewhere because we hear him playing. I would say there was ghost feet, so clearly it was a ghost.
Yeah.
A blind ghost, no less.
Qilin，别莽撞。
想不到阁下的鬼道之术如此了得。
道场过誉了。
Huh. He seems to be a zombie. Seems to be a zombie and also the guy I was just accusing the other guy of being. Their swords are very much alike though. Why not? Right?
Not
Why not?
Yeah.
Skill he didn't have before, he has now. I said the further along we go, the more Naruto this gets.
Yeah.
Puppet mastery is a Naruto skill.
Yeah.
And I assure you, there is a scene in the Shinobi War, which is Puppet Master versus zombie guys. Oh, it's just another
there they
pin.
are.
Yep.
手法通控制温宁的你极
I kind of assumed the fact that he couldn't control any of the zombies, that they were all filled with zombie pins. Ooh, bit off his own tongue.
他舌头被拔了。
Well, he can speak.
总觉得在哪儿
No.
See? What did I say?
宋子琛，他不是找小星辰失踪了吗？宋子琛修为那么高，能杀他的人屈指可数，会是谁啊？双花剑痕，剑漏双天之小星辰一人会师，只有相杀必有内因。 不过我现在更好奇，那位造出四炉钉的鬼道高手，与阁下究竟是何等关系？
We're mind reading right now? What's going on here?
He's doing the same thing that he did to.
No, turned it off. Yes, I get, but I think the idea was that I felt that when Ning was telling him stuff, not just like mind reading from him.
将军，出去的，别打烂。
哎呀，果然厉害。
金陵，
我猜，你还没有告诉这位小公子，你究竟是谁吧？那就让他先
Pretty sure
说
he
一说
figured it out.
怎么样？我是不是很贴心啊？一招解决近百走尸、焚灰引魂这种低阶术法，也能。
Kind of felt like Lan Zan was the one that did that.
久仰夷陵老祖大名，百闻不如一见。
好好一个流氓，
I always love it when they include the guitar.
阁下也是百闻不如一见的。薛样子，
You might have my favorite intro music of all the characters so far.
That explains
I
the
was about to
situation.
say, this episode was not going to be over just yet. That was way too early.
被你发现了。
I told you the poison thing was a fake out. There's no way he was carrying poison shit and then poisoned himself.
好一派轻易出尘、大义凛然，精彩，精彩！要不是在长平的记忆中看到过小星辰真正的样子，我真要坚信你是小星辰。
Oh, what I say, lessons, what I say.
我有一个很有名的朋友，那才叫做演技精湛，我自愧不如。
Don't know who that's referring to, though.
所以，你探出我的身份，又扮小星辰想获取我的信，
Oh, unless he's indicating he knows Spy Master.
是想让我干什么？
Probably.
我想让前辈你帮一个忙，一点小忙，请。
锁麟囊。 薛阳，你连阴虎符都能复原，修补一个灵，又何必要我帮忙呢？
你是开山者，当然比我厉害。我做不到的，你一定。
Kind of funny that legitimately,
不过瞧着城中尸体大多都有捕灵。
Firen covers this shit.
你也做了多次。
It's always the newer people are better than the older people.
当一个人生前受尽极大折磨，痛苦至极，
So this guy has had 14 years to improve demonic cultivation, where Wei Ying's been sitting in the past.
这个忙你不帮也得帮。前辈可以慢慢考虑，这位小公子可等不起了。尸毒攻心，再没解药，10成是救不回来的。
Well, if, I mean, passes to be believed, he's just going to take the corpse poisoning on himself and take it away from Ling Jing.
我就不拿他们做实验。
Jin Ling, rather.
你经常这样强人所难吗？
当然，我是流氓啊。
柯布林如此好神，你开的条件不诱人呐。你不会真以为我在意他们的死活吧？
那前辈要什么
？10多年
He's
前，
buying time.
那起分尸碎魂案的真相。
Isn't it funny that we already had an episode called The Truth?
Yeah.
哎，你真的不考虑一下吗？
Outnumbered and outgunned.
哎，蓝湛，你晚点出来了。
Well, I mean, outnumbered at the very least. Well, not even that. No, this is the guy controlling all the fucking zombies.
不愧是韩
They're outnumbered.
300走势也困你不住，好一招将计就计。
half a second, I thought he was whistling for the dog. Because if Jin Ling is in the area, then Fairy should be around here somewhere, right?
并非真的退却。
不过不急，他既有求于我，肯定会再出现的。先给孩儿们解掉尸毒再说。哎，你说，这种鬼城会有糯米吗？
糯米？
Guess that's part of the cure. So he's the one infecting people, huh?
He's a poisoner, as brought up
No,
before.
no, but I mean with the no, not with the curse though.
蛛网遍及，
I mean, it's indicative.
别处不同，应是有人打死。
If you're willing to poison people, you're willing to do a whole lot of shit.
自然有米粮，糯米想必也是好寻的。
You know, I'll say this. If I know I'm dealing with a poisoner, the first place I wouldn't run to is a food area in his bailiwick.
小心些，景爷。
这么高的门槛，扮鬼啊！
Oh, hey.
说对了，
Oh, Yang's back. You remember him, right?
这门槛啊，
No? You
正
don't?
是防止尸变者蹦出去而设的。
Talking to myself?
哪家修个门槛还专门
Yeah,
防
sorry.
尸变呀？
I guess I was.
I'm just
Okay.
这里莫不是？
Well, for the audience then. The audience knows we've seen this guy before.
一桩而已，有这么可怕吗？
谁罢了？
You fight demons and ghosts all the time.
He
You
was
shouldn't
afraid
be
of a dark cave before. Do you not remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
找到了。后院厨房。
I will say that Oh Yang doesn't seem to have aged very much over the last 10 years.
接下来放什么？
那个。哦，还有这个，
韩公君
再加点这个，
和我想象中的
还有这个，
有些不太一样。
都放进去。
还不是因为这个莫玄羽？
景爷，勿妄言。
Yeah, that's not gonna smell well. Ugh.
I mean, they're cooking with random shit they found in a
什么跑什么？
long deserted place.
啊，一人一碗。
哦，
Everybody gets a bowl.
Ah, I just
Now
cooked
that's
it so
gonna wake
fucking
him up.
hot.
That's gonna wake him up.
这什么东西啊？毒药
Ugh.
吗？
什么毒药？这是解尸毒的独门解药——糯米粥。
我不，精灵这种大小姐脾气，什么时候受过这种折磨？
别操心精灵了，不想加入外面的走失大军，就赶紧把粥喝了。
喝。
是。
Finish them, I suppose. Ugh.
我从来没吃过这么辣的糯米粥。谁？
Oh, it's because it's spicy.
不过这味道怎么有点似曾相识呢？
至于吗？都是姑苏人，你们家韩公君可是很能吃辣的。
不是啊，前辈，韩国君他从来不吃辣的。
从不吃辣，是吗？
疯子，你胆儿肥了！方才温宁的事我还没同你算账呢。
很好，半炷香后，尸毒就可彻底解了。
I wonder how weak the curse is or the poisoning is that it can just be cleared with spicy food.
Oh, here comes back the demon army.
怎么了？
刚刚那是
I guess indication that Song wasn't dead when they first were here. That or he poisoned him,
又是猪肝生，
and that's how he died.
从我们一进一城就跟着，每次都没好事儿。
可也因为这竹竿声，
韩光君才找到了我们。
那到底是个什么妖怪啊？
是何妖邪，一看便知。
哎，哇，韩光君都发话了，谁先来？少年们，你们胆子这么小
I mean, the fact it's glowing white seems to indicate to me it's filled with ghosts on the outside.
瞧不起谁呢？我来。白茫茫的一片，什么都没有啊！
怎么样？是不是很刺激？
刺激你个！太刺激了，太好看了！
I mean, there's so many holes in it. It basically just looks like a guy standing out the other side.
可以啊，思睿，胆子够大。人被吓的时候元神激荡，最容易遭受攻击。所以，身为世家子弟，头一样要务就是让自己的胆子变大。
你唬谁呢？
不信问韩光君。如何？一般人可没机会听我的指导，要珍惜。来，给我讲讲你们都看到了什么？
白眼睛。
It's kind of funny to hear this. But remember how many Wen clan members just fucking get scared to death?
舌头被人拔去了，
Yeah.
手上的竹竿似乎是一个盲杖。
这个女孩其实很清秀，如果整理
You want to join us over here?
可爱的美人。
Right for the pillar over there?
不错不错，只一眼就瞧出来是个美人，够敏锐，够独特。这位小朋友将来一定是个情种。
啊，前辈。
Not much of one, though.
好了，都观察清楚了。
I mean, your abilities are to mac on a ghost so far.
She's a ghost.
Pretty clear that she is. I mean, I don't know what you would call that, Lessons. That looks like a ghost to me.
Could be. No homo. Ying.
他要我们帮他打开这口棺材。
我来。得罪了。
这才是真正的小星辰。
They slice his throat? Are you faking being blind? Yeah, you're faking being blind.
姑娘，没事吧？
No. Apparently someone's bleeding around here. Song?
Oh, the original Trail of Blood.
It's a song. No, it's a Zhu. That is Zhu Yang? What's his name? Sorry, we just learned the name like an episode ago, so I'm still committing it to memory. So I'm guessing the other one is Bisong. The other one that's bleeding that's off screen.
Yeah.
I swear I had a note about the sword
Okay.
thing. I guess I didn't. In my notes section, I could have sworn I wrote down something about the sword that was at Guangyao, the place that Guangyao
Yeah.
was at. and it being representational of something that we would know already.
No.
I guess I didn't. If I didn't read it, I guess I didn't have it. But the element herein that the Frost sword looks like so many other fucking swords.
Yeah.
No, sorry. The indication that there was something about if that was the sword that stabbed Yang Li. And the idea being that whoever did that, everybody else but us saw. You know, so if that sword is supposed to be recognizable, it should be recognizable to the one person who's in the shot.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't fucking know. So.
Yeah.
Full thoughts? I mean, you gotta talk lessons.
I mean, we have now 2 blades that are cold related, snow and frost. That means that there's more than one person that knows the technique. Or 3 people, if...
Well, no, because remember, we also covered multiple times that Zhisheng is the only one that knows that art.
Yeah,
so
but then why
the
would the
element,
other
I know.
know?
Since I'm not disagreeing with you, or I guess I am, but I just don't have an answer.
And Xiao took over. He actually killed the other guy and took his sword and is using it. Not with that particular technique, but still.
Oh, I guess I didn't read the note. So wait, if Guan Yao was at his own place when he figured out the self-sacrificing ritual, then the pan over to the sword could imply that he was the one that set everything up at Nevernight and was the one that stabbed Yan Li. Though, it's still my assertion that everyone should have been able to have seen who did the stabbing, so not recognizing him now would be an oddity. Though, this is also the guy who disguised his way into stabbing Wen Rohan in the back, so not an unprecedented skill for this guy to have.
Yeah. Also, I remember there was a sword in that shot. Could that be whatever?
Hold on, listen. I'm going to ask you something because I'm going to be a little bit more miffed at you again if the answer is unsatisfactory. A sword in what shot?
Remember when Wang Yao goes and he's investigating
Lessons? What do you think my note was? What did I think I just read at you?
You talk about Wang Yao.
Whole note is talking about the sword in that shot. And then you're like, wait a second, there was a sword in that shot. What the fuck do you do when I'm talking at you?
I'm listening, but here's the thing. I don't think that's Wang Yao's sword. I think that's actually a wuxian sword. You saying that
it's
that's
not, I don't think so, because
it?
we've seen whatever before. And that doesn't look like whatever. That looks more like a series of swords that we've seen a lot of in the show. It kind of looks like Long Jin Ling Yi's sword. It also now kind of looks like the new Frost sword. It looks like a lot of other swords. Whatever is very nondescript. It's almost like dustless in that it's just like a plain ass looking sword. But the one that we saw there had ornamentation to it. That's what I'm saying, Les, is that I just read a whole note about just the sword in the shot and then how it might relate to a previous sword that we've seen the edge of. And then you're like, wait a second, there was a sword in that shot. You know, it'd be like I was talking about the JFK assassination, and then it was like talking like 10 minutes about the guy on a hill, on a grassy knoll. And they're like, yeah, but wait, there was another shot, not from the book repository. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that you think that that's his room.
No, I suggested that it could be. I said if this was Guan Yao's place, you know, as opposed to the other 2 places that both of us have mentioned. I said this could be in Guso. You said that this could be in Mo Village. I suggested a 3rd place. What if this is his place? That he is the source of the negative shit. That he's been keeping all the demonic cultivation notes. That he is the one who disguised himself and stabbed Yan Li, etc., etc., etc. Because again, he seems to be up to some nefarious shit. He doesn't seem to be that's Wei Wuxian, huh? I better keep an eye on him and, you know, make sure that he's not up to anything. Or because he also says, oh, Zhan Yu, you're doing demonic cultivation. So long as you have a good heart, that's okay. Aren't you now in Guan Gao? I forget his name. Former Jin leader, the guy who was judging everybody. Isn't he now occupying that position? doesn't it behoove him, if he's going to be found guilty later of demonic cultivation, to set a precedent of forgiveness for demonic cultivation? I'm saying it's very much, he may be following in Dead Guy's footsteps of wanting the Stygian Tire Amulet, wanting the power that our new antagonist here is going to actually be reporting back to him. He might be Spy Master. Again, has a history of dressing up as other people to fool them and backstab them.
Yeah. Oh, and also he's the one behind building the towers, so maybe the towers
are also
something
nefarious.
completely different. Yeah, they're
maybe this is a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, yeah.
We actually built all these towers in a giant circle.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with this is that because go back and forth, it could, and you have we're filling in, but we haven't filled completely in the 10-year gap or 11-year gap.
The problem is that we're dealing with a, what are these called? I forget what they're called. We're dealing with a fractional infinity. You know, in the element that infinity as a number can be massive. However, the space between 1 and 2 is also an infinity. You have an infinite number of fractions and decimal points, whatever. That the past is a infinity. We could never cover everything that's always happened ever. We have an infinity of the past that we can keep flashing back to. Oh yeah, you also know, while there's 3 other things that were happening in the last 10 years, also these 17 other things were also happening.
A lot of things are happening in that 10-year period.
We're never going to have a full context of everything that's happened to everybody.
It reminds me of one of the things I came to hate about Arrow, at least in the earlier seasons, was like everybody had been in the island. He was alone on the island. It turns out he wasn't alone on the island, and other people showed up on the island, and then went back to the island.
I misheard what you were saying.
You remember the series Arrow, right? Arrow.
Oh, you mean the WB show?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Well,
at first I was like, I thought you said Haro from like the Gundam, and I was like, well, that's not what you're talking about. And I was like, did he say Lost? And I just really misheard what he said.
No. I'm talking about Arrow, the series, which is supposed to be Green Arrow.
Yeah, Green Arrow. I'm familiar. I watched bits of Legends of Tomorrow and the cover bit for when Vandal Savage showed up. She's my favorite DC villain.
Well, the thing is, it starts at, the origin story is he gets lost in this island, spends 10 years there, comes back, takes over his father's family's business, right? He basically is...
So already the start of Iron Fist, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Same origin story, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Every DC hero has to also take over a business. Because we have to also non-villainize CEOs for some reason.
Anyway, he takes over, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, oh, no, I was alone on the island. But it turns out, no, these other people actually show up on the island. And it also turns out that I left the island and then came back to the island. And then these other people showed up in the island. It's like, how many fucking people were in this fucking island of yours, right? And it's like, eventually they moved on from that point. But it was like every other, literally, you talk about Smallville, like everybody was in Smallville. It was like that. Everybody was in the island. Everybody he knew, every villain, every people that trained, everybody was in the continent. I was like, oh, that was a pretty fucking crowded island for you to be lost for 10 years and just found, right? The girlfriend you thought died was also on the island. The whole world had been a tour of the goddamn island. Like, they were like guided tours. Look at Ollie being alone in his cave. And this was where he was there when he trained with that person. And this is where he made his first bow and arrow and blah, blah, kind of like that,
I mean, I can see a pretty fun way to end the whole story is that he's still on the island.
Probably.
Not like the Lost fashion, but like in the Castaway fashion. He's just sitting there with like a bunch of wreckage with faces drawn on him, having adventures because he's just gone crazy because he's been alone for so long. Yeah, pan back and there's like a half black, half red soccer ball. Slade, how could you?
Yeah, Slade was in the island. Everybody was in the island.
And every recurring villain is somebody he's kicked off the island that's floated back onto shore.
Yeah.
Deathstroke, how dare you return? I think I'd watch that show sooner than I'd watch Arrow.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that actually is a show. That is Wrecked? I can't remember what it's called. It's the comedy playoff of Lost, where literally there is a character on that show who's on the other side of the island, who's one of the stewardesses or whatever. And she's gone crazy. And she's literally just like taken a bunch of objects from the wreckage of the plane and given them names and everything. So that when somebody else shows up, she holds them hostage. And then he has to get involved in the drama between all the characters with You know, you hitting on? She just broke up with, saying, I can't hear what's going on in your head.
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck's going on. But sure, let's go with that, crazy lady. Yeah.
No, I mean, it was a pretty good show. I never finished it. I think I only got like a season or 2 seasons.
The Arrow was
Wrecked. I think it was called Wrecked.
Yeah. Mystery Box. That's why I that and Lost. I started watching Lost, and it's like, and then they do this thing, and then there's time travel. Like, the fuck are you doing? Fuck you. I'm out.
I think I got to like the next to last season of Lost because I was watching it on a DVD set that I found in the break room. That was working.
Yeah, basically it was mystery box bullshit. Which mystery box, like any trope, it's not inherently bad, but then everybody thinks, oh, this is a silver bullet to make any TV series, and you're like, you don't understand what
I didn't have
doing.
that much of a problem with it until it started like introducing characters I didn't care about, which is to say, like the 2 brothers or twins or whatever that were like the mainstay of the island, and then I mean, they're like supposed to be like old guys or something. I'm not really familiar with it. At this point, I'm also very distant from the memory of what the hell it was.
Yeah.
But, when the focus stopped being on the survivors of the crash and on the history of the island, and then what's his name, the bald guy, was no longer himself, but somebody occupying the body or looking like him, which was like one of the guys who died on the island a long time ago, who was, Well, the idea was like, I'm following now, not because of the lore or anything. I'm following because I like the characters that I like. The same thing I do with like Gundam and whatnot, right? The idea that I picked a team, and now I'm still just hanging around now to see how my team goes. Well, unfortunately, it's not my team anymore because now you're replacing him with this other guy, and now it's just the guy that looks like my guy, and it's like, you lost me now.
It's a guy. Yeah, literally, we lost him.
Well, no, I mean, you lost me now because you've taken away my guy, and now you're like, well, it's your guy, but it's not your guy because it's a different guy in a skin suit of your guy, and it's like, well, I was here because I'm John Locke, by the way. I was here for John Locke's story, and now you've gotten rid of that by making him gone and some other guy. And at this point, I'm like 9 seasons in or whatever, and everybody else that I liked is already dead. This is like the last guy I had left, and now he's not that guy.
Yeah,
it's like I'm on a meeting of Shark Tank or whatever. I hear you, but I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, and then, well, this show doesn't suffer as badly from any of that.
It does, though. It suffers from the chronological problem where, well, yeah. What do you mean? Like, right at the end of season 2, we're going to introduce this concept that's going to recontextualize the things that you saw in season 1? Great. I don't have the time to go back and rewatch, though.
Every little thing.
Yeah, I just don't.
I'm still enjoying
on one hand,
it, but
I would appreciate it if this was like my one show, the only show I was watching. But I don't really have the time to go back and rewatch all of season 1 to like recontextualize every scene. Like, oh, that's where. Remember, he left the things out here outside by the tree, but it turns out that actually Lanzan brought them inside and hid them under a thing. Or did he bring them back inside and hide them under a thing in a scene that we didn't see? Because although the 2 other scenes where Wei Wuxian and Lanzan got into a fight about him trying to smuggle the stuff in. Or what does that have to do with the little drum thing that they played with as a kid that is now tying these 2 things together? But again, why does Lanzan never recognize the element that they knew each other before now? Are all of those scenes supposed to be him actually trying to repress the memory? Or is that, like, I don't know. This probably plays clearer in the, Untamed?
Hopefully. Don't want to watch that. Unless this ends up with a very unsatisfying ending, in which case it's like, whatever, never mind. I'm done. Screw you guys, I'm going to go home. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack. And as always, it'll have to go to the notes because, god damn it, there's ghost and shit. And
I was self-satisfied when the thing I said at the very beginning turned out to be true halfway through. It's like, yep, I knew it wasn't that guy. Well, to be fair, I actually went on a whole roller coaster there. I was like, I think this is probably the other guy. Here's some reasons why. And it's like, oh no, he's doing the stuff that the other guy does, and there's the other guy right there. It's like, oh no, well, maybe I was wrong. No, wait, it was the other guy. It's like, yes, right, victory.
The next episode will be part of it, all of it, explaining what's happening, what happened to G City, which should have been this episode. Also, I think it feels like another thing that I find frustrating is we feel to be like one step behind the actual story. Like, oh yeah, this is the episode that's going to happen. No, that's going to be next episode. This episode is going to explain a lot of other shit that you need to know so you can get into the story. Like, okay, but okay, now we're gonna get to that one. No, wait. We're gonna get to this other thing. I'm like,
It's funny because
God
that's
damn
the
it.
experience I'm getting from Space Battleship Yamato.
yeah.
Like one episode will be called "The Decisive Space Battle" to end all the space battles or whatever, something. And then there'll be no space battle in the fucking episode. And they think the next time on will imply that there might be a space battle next episode. So I'm about to watch an
literally, the
episode
last
that's literally
episode-
farewell to whatever the death of Captain. I'm expecting the guy to not be dead by the end of the episode that I'm about to watch.
Well, that's one way of having non-spoilery titles. You think he's gonna die. You have no idea what's gonna happen. We're just lying to you in our titles. He could die.
I mean,
Maybe.
literally, I had a episode called was it Crash and Warp or something like that? Like literally, the title of the episode was to imply that the Yamato was going to crash into another ship in Warp. 20 minutes in, the Yamato emerges from Warp, and there's a ship next to it. Doesn't crash into it, by the way. It's just there's a ship nearby, and they fly off, and whole episode had nothing to do with that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's 20 minutes in, that happens, they fly off. We had another 2 minutes of conversation, the episode ends.
I mean, we ended the season, last season, with the truth. Oh, what's it? I'm waiting. I'm still with. We saw some of the truth, I think. Maybe.
I feel like the
I'm
truth
not
is
sure.
probably would be the last episode should be called of everything.
Yeah. We don't. This is fictional. We all made it up. That's the truth. Well, thank you for that.
Well, I mean, the
appreciate your
finality of all
sincerity.
reveals should be the truth.
Yeah.
All right.
So there
Well,
you
I
have it.
think that's about it for this episode. So, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?